Would you like to hear a story? There was once a wise farmer, and he and his son worked the family farm. It was hard work, but they survived. They had one old workhorse. They had one old workhorse that would help them in the farming chores. And one day, the workhorse ran away, and the neighbors said, "Oh, we're so sorry. Now you'll have to do all of the work yourself. It'll be much harder for you." And the wise old farmer just said, "Oh, maybe." The next day, the workhorse returned, and it brought along 3 wild horses with it. Now the farmer had 4 horses. And the neighbors said, "That is wonderful. Now you will really have an easy time on your farm." And the farmer said, "Oh, maybe." The next day, while his son was trying to break in one of the wild horses, he took a fall and he broke his leg. The neighbors helped and said to the wise old farmer, "Oh, now you're going to have to work in the fields all by yourself. You won't have your young son to help you." The wise old farmer just said, "Oh well." The following day, the army came marching through the villages and required 1 son from every family to enlist. And as they attempted to draft the farmer's son, they noticed his broken leg and said, "You would be useless to us," and left him behind. The neighbors were amazed at the old farmer's good luck and said, "Wow, now your son will be able to stay home with you. Won't have to go out and fight in the king's wars." The farmer just said, "Okay, no big deal." What is this story telling us? The farmer was able to not judge every event that took place in his life. The good ones and the bad ones all carried equal weight for him. He was balanced. He was able to live a harmonious life because his inner state of mind was harmonious. That's what this story is telling us, is that we have a judgmental mind. It's always judging. The events in our life are either good or bad. The people that we meet, we prejudge them based on their appearance, whereas everyone knows you should not judge a book by its cover, and deep meaning can be learned from all the people that we might meet in our life. And the key to a successful life is to balance the feelings that your judgmental mind is always creating for you. Let me carry on with the story. One day, a young woman in the village became pregnant, and her irate parents demanded to know who the father was, but she would not tell. Finally, she falsely accused the wise old farmer as being the father. The irate dad took the baby to the farmer, and said, "You will raise this child as your own, since you are the father." The wise old farmer just accepted this, took the son in, raised him, took very good care of the baby. But one day, months later, the young woman realized the folly of her deception and told her parents who the real father was. So her dad went to the old wise farmer and said, "We're so sorry for accusing you falsely. Can we have our grandson back?" And the wise old farmer said, "Of course." And the farmer had taken really good care of the son, and he had been outcast by all of his community because of this accusation. And now that it became clear that he had just taken care of this child, even though he was not the father, they all started to hold him in extremely high esteem. And he just said, "No problem." So this part of the story describes that even when the worst kinds of things can happen to you, they're not happening to you. They're just the natural events in our lives. They're not good, they're not bad. They're just things that happen. You can certainly take steps to prepare for the inevitable things that might come your way in your life. But do you think the animal kingdom does that? We are animals. We live in a world with many other plants and animals and beings, and they just live their lives moment by moment without judging. I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope in your life, you can learn to control your judging mind and find more inner harmony. Thank you for listening to this Zen story.